I think that I might have found the ultimate fishing rod from Temu, and in this video I'm going to be giving it a real test by pushing it to its limits. A few videos ago I bought 3 of the cheapest Temu fishing rods, took them fishing and gave you my thoughts. Most of the rods were garbage, but this one stood out to me. I've had this rod for a few months now and it's really surprised me on how good it actually is. Which is why we're out here today, because I want to try and use this rod for things that it's not meant for. I'm going to be taking this $20 ultralight rod out, fishing off the rocks and see if we can catch some big fish with it. But before we take it fishing, I'm going to go over some of the specs. Right, so first of all, looks wise, this rod looks extremely nice, which is definitely a plus. Most budget rods look pretty ugly, but not this. I reckon that this looks absolutely awesome, and it looks like a rod that could cost hundreds of dollars. I know looks don't really matter, but it's still nice to fish with gear that actually looks nice. Right, now this rod is a 2-piece ultralight rod, which one means it can go into 2 pieces, which makes it easy when you're traveling and stuff. And because it's an ultralight, it means it's meant for small fish, flicking small lures in streams, creeks, ponds, that sort of stuff. And it's also really sensitive, which is nice. It makes it super easy to feel bites, and it's easy to flick little lures a long way. Now this rod is 6 foot in length, which isn't super long, but I feel like it's pretty ideal for something like this, because normally you're not casting very far, and the longer the rod is, the harder it is when you're going through bushes and stuff. It has a lure weight of 0.8 to 5 grams and a line weight of 2 to 6 pounds. So again, it's meant for casting lures that are quite small and light. Now something that really stood out to me when I first started using this rod is the build quality. The rod itself is made from carbon fiber, which at this price point is pretty surprising, and it's been really strong. I haven't had any issues with it so far. Now coming down to the handle, it's made out of foam metal and this really strong plastic, and it feels really nice, good in the hand. The little details of this rod are super nice. Again, this rod looks and feels like a super high-end rod. So that's pretty much all the specs of the $20 Temu Ultralight, and all this comes at the price of $23. Overall, I've been super impressed with this rod. It looks and feels really nice and has performed just as well as higher-end rods. I've been using it a lot for things like trout and perch, and so far it's been well worth the money. But to properly test this rod, we can't only be using it for things that it was designed for. So I'm going to take this $20 ultralight rod for some inshore fishing off the rocks. I'm not really sure how well it's going to hold up, because not many ultralight rods are made for stuff like this, even some of the super expensive ones. And just to be clear, I don't expect this rod to perform very well where we're taking it. And although I hope it survives, I'm not sure if it will, and in fact there's a pretty high chance that this thing could end up snapping. If this thing does survive, it's pretty safe to say that this thing is truly an exceptional rod. Right, see you tomorrow when we take this thing out. Right, so I've made it to the spot. I've got the Temu rod, and it's a bit choppy, which might make things a bit interesting, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm just going to get rigged up and we'll start fishing. Right, so I've got the Temu rod here, just rigged up with a little soft bait. I'm just going to cast this around and see if anything wants to have a bite out of it. I've got no idea how this is going to go, because normally when I use this rod it's either for small fish or there's just not a lot of structure and things for them to swim around. But here there's big rocks everywhere, there's big patches of seaweed and kelp, which is going to make it really difficult not to lose fish on this rod or to break this rod. I'm just going to cast a soft bait around some of the ledges and just see if anything wants to take a bite out of it. Yep, first cast. Oh, look at that, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's big. Oh, there. Parrotfish. I haven't really thought about how I'm going to land it. Let's hope this doesn't break. Oh. There we go, guys. First cast and we caught a fish. It's not a monster, but still. Look at that. Can you guys see the teeth on that thing? Would not want to get bitten by this guy. There we are on the soft bait, first cast. Alright guys, first fish of the day, it's a little parrotfish. Off he goes. Alright, so first fish of the day on the Temu rod, and it held up pretty well. Although it wasn't a big fish, it's still, they fight pretty hard, and with all the structure and stuff around here, it can be pretty difficult not to let them go to ground and break you off. So yeah, I'm just going to keep casting, see if we can catch some bigger fish. Yep, there's a fish. Second cast. This one feels a bit bigger. I don't know if, oh, he's trying to go to ground on me. No. Get up. Oh, it's a carway, I think. Loosen that drag. I've only got 6-pound line on. No, we're going there. Come this way. This fish is a lot better, I think. Whoa. This is going to be a real test for the Temu rod. It's showing under there. Look at the bend in that rod. Oh no. This is going to be a really hard fight. There it is. Stay there. Alright, we're just going to have to keep him here. Look at the bend in that rod, guys. Oh. Alright, stay there. See, grab my net. Oh. We have to jump down here. No, it's shining under there. Come on. No. Oh! He's splashed by sea spray. There we go. Oh! Come on. Uh-oh, he's going in here. That's not good. Oh, he's trying to go under the rocks. Whoa! I really don't want to put too much pressure on this fish, but I kind of have to. No, Here we go. Oh, we got him! Let's go, guys, a carway. Whoa. Alright guys, look at this. An awesome carway. For a carway, it's not overly big, but it's a lot bigger compared to that last fish we just caught. It's in between 45 and 50 centimeters. Yeah, what a wicked fish on the Temu rod. Alright guys, awesome carway there. Off it goes. Let's go, guys. That was such a good fish on the $20 Temu fishing rod. That was a lot bigger than the last fish we just caught, but for carway it wasn't massive and they can grow a lot bigger. So I'm going to keep casting that low and see if we can catch one of those bigger ones. Alright guys, so that's now 2 casts and 2 awesome fish on the Temu Ultralight. And it's been holding up pretty well, I do have to admit. Finding these fish in these conditions is going to be super hard, but that goes for all ultralights. And I feel like this one's held up just as good as the higher end rods at this level. Let's see, can we make it? 3 casts, 3 fish. Alright, no fish in that cast, but we did get a few hits and they've marked up the soft plate a little bit. There we go. Yep, there's a fish. That feels like another good one. Oh, he's gone to ground, I think. Ah, oh, he's got me snagged. Oh, but he's out. Oh, has he? He's still on the end. But he's out, I think. Oh, get him up. I haven't seen it yet. What is it? Oh, it's just another parrotfish. He must have been caught some weed. I thought it was a lot bigger. Ah, there we are, another fish. Alright guys, yet another toothy parrotfish on the Temu Ultralight. And he's gone. That fish bit the tail off my soft bait, so I'm probably gonna have to rig up a new soft bait. Right, I've re-rigged just a little pink glow soft bait. We'll see if this can do the trick. Yep, that's a fish. Whoa, that is a good fish. Uh-oh. Alright guys, this is going to be a real test. Oh, I can see some seaweed actually. Wait, I can see some seaweed moving. No, this is a good fish. Oh, oh, it came off. No! Ah! That was a big fish, guys. It was caught in some seaweed, which I could see moving, but that was pulling some crazy drag. Ah! Damn it! That was a really good fish. Alright guys, we just lost that really nice fish, which sucks. I don't think that's really... I feel like even with a proper rod I wouldn't have been able to catch that. I didn't do anything wrong, the hook just ended up popping, which it just happens, but it's still really frustrating. I don't know if you guys will be able to see in the water, but there's a lot of seaweed and stuff. We just had a big storm and it must have washed heaps of it off the rocks and stuff, so it's all just sort of circling around in here. Which, when the fish gets caught up in that, can be pretty annoying. But yeah, that fish was pulling some drag. That was a good fish. Let's just hope that there's some more like it around. As you saw, we hooked a really nice fish on the Temu Ultralight. A lot bigger than anything we'd caught so far. But unfortunately, the hook popped out. I kept fishing for a while, but didn't end up catching anything else. Alright guys, well, the rod survived, and not only that, it was a lot of fun using it. Definitely not what it was meant for, but it still held up pretty well. Anyway, we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, so if you guys haven't already, please subscribe because it really means a lot. Make sure you watch these videos on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.